Thank you. Will the clerk conduct a roll call, please?
Heidi,
Here.
Clinker.
Here.
Nargi.
Here.
Reynolds.
Here.
Brown. Allersmeyer.
Here.
Williamson.
Here.
Downing.
Here.
Campbell.
Here.
Quorum present.
I would entertain a motion to suspend the meeting for the purpose of 2 public hearings. Mr. Clinker.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Nargi. Go ahead.
Resolution 2018-01, a resolution approving a waiver of noncompliance subject to a final public hearing, Lex Lafayette LP. Can I go ahead and do the other one too, or separately?
Well, let's see if anybody wants to comment on this one first,
Okay.
and then.
Any comments by members of the audience? There being none, would the clerk then call the next ordinance, or resolution, excuse me?
Resolution 2018-02, a resolution approving a waiver of noncompliance subject to a final public hearing, Caterpillar, Inc.
Any questions or comments by members of the audience? There being none, yes, sir.
I move we reconvene.
Very good.
Second.
Mr.
Got it?
You want to vote on it?
Approval of the minutes of the meeting of January the 8th, 2018.
Mr. President, I move that those minutes be approved as communicated. Second.
Second. Any comments or changes in those particular minutes? There being none, would the clerk then conduct a roll call vote on the minutes of the January 8th meeting?
Heidi.
Aye.
Clinker.
Aye.
Nargi.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Minutes passed as approved.
Presentation and disposal of claims.
There are none.
Presentation of petitions and communications.
There are none.
Reports of city offices on file in the clerk's office.
Fleet maintenance monthly December, police department monthly December, waterworks monthly December, and Lafayette Renew monthly December.
Anyone who would like to examine those particular reports, they are in file in the clerk's office during business hours. Ordinances for second reading.
Ordinance 2018-01, an ordinance established a transient rental registration permit application fee.
Mr. Downing.
I move to hear and approve ordinance 2018-01.
Mr. Heidi.
Second.
Any comments or questions by members of the Common Council?
President Campbell, if you'd like, I can just
Go ahead.
review quickly
Surely.
what that is. After a long time, the Area Plan Commission approved a transient rental ordinance recommended to the council, and the council adopted that ordinance, and it allows for permitting of certain kinds of transient rental houses, but the engineering office is in charge of the permitting process, and we needed to establish a fee to cover the costs that are involved in them taking the permit and making sure it qualifies under the ordinance for the appropriate use. And this is the fee that was determined, and this is the second reading, and just wanted to remind the council what this is all about.
Any questions of Mr. Chosnick? There being none, any comments by members of the audience? There being none, would the clerk conduct a roll call vote on ordinance 2018-1?
Heidi.
Aye.
Clinker.
Aye.
Nargi.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Thank you. Ordinances for first reading.
Ordinance 2018-04, an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of Tippecanoe County, Indiana to rezone certain real estate from R2U to GB 2408 North 19th Street. Brad Cohen, petitioner.
Mr. Clinker,
Move we hear ordinance 2018-04 on first reading.
Mrs. Nargi.
Second.
Any questions or comments by members of the Common Council? Members of the audience wish to address this ordinance.
Ryan Munden with Ryling, Teeter, and Schreier here on behalf of the petitioner Brad Cohen. We're requesting a rezone from R2U to GB at 2480 North 19th Street. The petitioner also owns 2 adjacent lots that are used as a commissary for approximately 18 Arnie's restaurants. The property we're requesting be rezoned will be used for additional parking and storage for the Arnie's commissary. There's currently a fire-damaged house on the property that will be torn down, and an existing garage will be used as storage. We received favorable staff report and recommendation of approval from APC, and we'd respectfully request your approval this evening. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions of this gentleman? Being none, thank you. Any questions or comments by members of the audience? There being none, members of the Common Council, would the clerk please conduct a roll call vote on ordinance 2018-4?
Heidi?
Aye.
Clinker?
Aye.
Nargi?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
Allersmeyer?
Aye.
Williamson?
Aye.
Downing?
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Thank you. Ordinance 2018-5.
An ordinance amending Chapter 9.04, smoking in public places to include electronic smoking devices.
What's the pleasure of the council? Yes, sir.
I move to hear and approve ordinance 2018-05.
Thank you. Mr. Brown?
Second.
Any comments by members of the Common Council? There being none, members of the audience?
Floyd Wells, 3717 Rawlings Drive. I'd like you to clarify what you mean by public places.
It's a place where smoking is allowed right now.
All right. What I'm getting at is, by extension of the other smoking laws that we have, are we going to tell people who own their own businesses that they cannot smoke in those businesses?
If they can't smoke there now, I would assume that means.
The thing of it is, government has overreached itself by denying people the right to do things that are that are legal in their own business. Now, I understand and I support not smoking in public-owned property, this property, schools, what have you. But when it comes to broadening that and saying you can't do it in your own business, I won't permit it in mine, but that's my decision. I don't like it when you tell me I can't do it in my place of business. And I don't think you really have the right, if somebody really tested it, to do that. And so, for that reason, I want a clarification of what you mean by public places. Are you talking about these kinds of places or in my business?
If your business is public and you presently cannot smoke there, it would be true.
You're out of bounds. Thank you.
Perry Barbie, 3700 Redbud Avenue. I'm kind of confused on this whole thing myself. I don't think, as a body government, we should have the right to tell people what they can and can't do in something like this. The said that there's only few people that had voiced their concerns about this. I think it's kind of, I don't think it's bad for your health. There's not been proven that it's bad or good for your health. There's been a lot of people that quit smoking because of that device. And I think we should, if we go and say it shouldn't be allowed at a place, it should be like the gentleman just said, up to the businesses. Only one place I think it should be bad access is at a school function. But I don't think I have seen anyone smoking those things in a place. We're talking about common courtesy more than law. We need to be more concerned about other people's thing. There's if we want to take people's rights away, we get to a health issue also. Cell phones are electric device. If we think, well, we don't, just because other cities have it, should we have it? No. I'm going to be for it, although that's safety. I think we were way out of bounds on this.
Thank you.
We have adopted, and we adopted back in 2008, our smoking ordinance, and it's been in effect for now 10 years. After we adopted ours, the state adopted one very similar, so we have both local regulation and state regulation of smoking. This ordinance really simply adds electronic smoking devices to the definition that was previously smoldering cigars, cigarettes, pipes, smoking equipment of any kind. And so that's all this does. Makes no changes, adds no additional restrictions. It just says electronic smoking devices are regulated the same as those other smoking devices, and we're not breaking in new territory. This has been adopted in Indianapolis, Franklin, Greenwood, Kokomo, Bloomington, Howard County, and there are other places that are doing it, and there's quite a bit of research as to why. And I think, the council requested that the city attorney's office research and see if it was a possibility, and we prepared the ordinance, and it's really just simply adding electronic cigarettes to the definition.
Thank you, Mr. Chesnick. Any other questions? Questions by the common council? Would the clerk then conduct a roll call vote on ordinance 2018-5?
Heidi?
Aye.
Clinker?
Aye.
Nargi?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
Allersmeyer?
Aye.
Williamson?
Aye.
Downing?
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Thank you. Ordinance 2018-6.
An ordinance to amend the ordinance of 2017-37, an ordinance fixing the salaries of appointed officers and employees of the city of Lafayette, Indiana for the year 2018, excluding the sworn protective occupation and law enforcement members of the police and fire departments.
Ms. Alsmeyer?
Mr. President, I move we hear and approve ordinance 2018-06.
Second.
Any questions or comments by members of the common council? Yes, sir.
Mr. President, Mike Jones, Controller. The ordinance before you is the exhibit listing the number of folks that we have on the payroll salary ordinance that we passed back in the fall. The cash was right, but on the exhibit that enumerated the people that we had talked about, having a extra 2 sanitation crews and adding a downtown security officer, I inadvertently left it off the exhibit that showed the numbers. So this makes that correct then.
Okay, thank you. Any questions of Mr. Jones? Thank you. Any questions or comments by members of the audience? There being none, common council once again. Would the clerk then conduct a roll call vote on ordinance 2018-6?
Heidi?
Aye.
Clinker?
Aye.
Nargi?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
Allersmeyer?
Aye.
Williamson?
Aye.
Downing?
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Resolutions 2018-5.
A resolution approving a waiver of noncompliance and finding compliance with the Statement of Benefits, Lex Lafayette LP.
Mr. Downing?
I move to approve resolution 2018-05.
Mr. Heidi?
Second.
Any questions or comments by members of the common council? Mayor?
Mr. President, with your permission, I'll address Resolution 05 and 06 at the same time, but certainly would step back up to the podium for questions if there was. As you know, these are the compliance that we talked about for Caterpillar and Caterpillar Logistics. This has went through the proper process through the Redevelopment Commission to the council to correct some technical errors and filings on their tax abatements that they have with the city of Lafayette for significant investments that they've made in the community. I know the word compliance is in there, but that's simply because to fill out the paperwork and be able to get that turned in from job creation and investment, they are totally in compliance with all their tax abatements and those promises they made to the city of Lafayette. So we would appreciate your support for this final vote so they can get that paperwork filled out and turned in, and we'll get things back on the proper schedule. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Any questions of the mayor? Any questions or comments by members of the audience? There being none, would the clerk, once again, the city council, would the clerk then conduct a roll call vote on resolution 2018-5?
Heidi?
Aye.
Clinker?
Aye.
Nargi.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Resolution passes 8-0.
Thank you. Resolution 2018-6.
A resolution approving a waiver of noncompliance and finding compliance with the Statement of Benefits, Caterpillar, Inc.
Mr. Clinker,
I move we pass Resolution 2018-06 on final
Mrs.
reading.
Nargi.
I second it.
Any questions or comments by members of the Common Council? Any other comments by members of the audience? There being none, would the clerk then conduct a roll call vote on Resolution 2018-6?
Heidi? Heidi? Say aye. Okay. Clinker?
Aye.
Nargi?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
Allersmeyer?
Aye.
Williamson?
Aye.
Downing?
Aye.
Resolution passes 8-0.
Would you like a drink of water?
Well, it didn't come out right.
Oh, okay. Checking on you. That was a new kind of vote.
Did you hear Kevin? I heard it. He heard it.
Good.
Reports of standing committees. Reports of special committees. Reports by the mayor.
Can we do those real quick?
I'm going to give my state of the city. Is that okay?
Yes, sir,
Okay, well,
you
didn't
go.
say it, so I wanted to make sure. Mr. President, members of the City Council, and citizens of Lafayette, I am honored and humbled to stand before you and present the 2018 State of the City. I would like to begin by thanking all of our citizens who participate with our neighborhood associations, help in our schools, or volunteer for our many community, civic, and social service organizations. It takes many dedicated people working together to govern and to move our community in a positive direction. In addition, I'd like to thank the City Council, who works diligently to represent their constituents. And I'd like to thank the Board of Works, the Redevelopment Commission, our Police and Fire Merit Boards, Park Foundation, and the Historic Preservation and Human Relations Commissions. I'd also like to send a special thank you to our City Clerk, Cindy Murray, who is an outstanding elected official and community representative for Lafayette. I'm honored to work with an incredible group of department heads and a talented team of city employees. Thanks to the leadership of our department heads, I get countless compliments of team members going above and beyond to serve our citizens. As you know, one of the primary purposes for the state of the city is to report on finances, and I'm pleased to share that we are in a strong financial position. Our cash operating balances have increased towards levels recommended by the Government Finance Officers Association and the bond rating agencies. And these balances have been achieved with no reduction in city services. The city department's adherence to a council-approved budgets and the improved operating efficiencies of our employees have produced sufficient cash operating reserves. Our interest and investment earnings have doubled over the past year, thus allowed us to increase our rainy day fund balance to over $4 million. This emergency fund, which represents over a 10% reserve, is viewed favorably by our rating agencies. Our bond rating is published by Moody's Investor Service, increased on September 27, 2017. Out of the 1,348 government units reviewed, Lafayette was only one of 10 United States local government units to actually increase its bond rating. Our increased rating will reduce our interest expense in the future. We issued our first comprehensive annual financial report for the year ending 2016 and plan to continue to report our finances at the highest level. The State Board of Accounts audited our report and concluded the city was in compliance with federal statutes and regulations. In addition, our internal controls were determined to be strong, and our financial statements were given a favorable, positive, unmodified opinion. I appreciate the council's help in ensuring the city of Lafayette practices sound financial management and is fiscally responsible with tax dollars. As you know, public safety is our #1 priority. Our fire department continues to rank among the best in the state and the nation when it comes to service, equipment, and outreach. Our police department has made remarkable progress with the initiatives that started just a little over 2 years ago. As you remember, in September 2015, I presented comprehensive staffing, resource, and community outreach initiatives for the police department that were to be implemented in 2016 and 2017. And I'm pleased to announce that our street crimes unit is now fully staffed with 6 officers, 1 canine, and 1 sergeant. We have increased police visibility and neighborhood engagement by allowing 17 additional officers who live in the city limits to take home their patrol cars, and 9 more will be eligible prior to the end of this year. The crime prevention unit has been fully staffed since last November, having 2 specialists, a sergeant, and a lieutenant. The number of positive interactions and engagements increased from 80 in 2016 to 211 last year. In 2017, LPD started its own monthly podcast, Inside the Squad, as another platform to educate citizens about everything from personal stories to internal operation and helpful tips. Nextdoor currently has 11,500 members that accounts for 26% of the households in our city. This is an essential resource for the police to obtain information and for our citizens to play an active role in keeping their neighborhoods safe. Over the last 5 years, the number of sworn officers has increased by 15. These additional positions have allowed us and will allow us in the future to adequately address all aspects of investigations, drug interdiction, community outreach, street crimes, patrol activities, and our drug task force. In 2017, LPD drug-related arrests increased by 92%, from 786 to 1,506. This exemplifies how drug possession and distribution are the leading cause of criminal activity in Lafayette, and how law enforcement is actively addressing an issue that affects all of us. Because of these initiatives and the impressive response of our citizens, we have had another year in making progress in reducing overall crime in our community. Statistics show us property crimes occur the most often, with thefts and burglaries being the 2 most common. Our city has observed declines of these crimes during each of the last 4 years. The last time totals were observed at this low level was 2010. By strengthening our relationship with our citizens and our businesses through our Community Outreach and Crime Prevention Division, we are hopeful these crimes will continue their decline. So to put the last 2 years in perspective, since we have started our initiatives, in 2016, crimes against persons went down 21%. Property crime went down 9%, for a total decrease of 395 incidents, or 11% compared to 2015. In 2017, crimes against persons rose just slightly, but we actually had 3 less victims. A positive change was robberies, which declined by 30 incidents, which represents a 27% decrease. This was as significant as one of the areas we were most concerned about. Property crimes dropped by 380, representing a 13% decline. Overall crime dropped 11% then in 2017. In total, this represents 766 less incidents, which is a 20% decrease in overall crime since we've been implementing our initiatives. I want to thank this council for helping me to ensure the police department has the resources needed to go above and beyond when it comes to the safety and well-being of our citizens and our officers. In 2013, the police department's budget was just over $14 million. In 2018, the budget is over $18 million. When we say public safety is our #1 priority, we mean it, and our resource allocation shows it. This strong commitment is also the reason I've chosen to join a lawsuit to hold drug manufacturers and distributors responsible for their role in creating the opioid crisis, which has been a major drain on our community's resources. We will keep the council informed and engaged as the process unfolds. And we haven't stopped there. We also recently unveiled an additional partnership with the West Lafayette Police Department. We have a drug interdiction team working to identify and apprehend drug couriers on Interstate 65 and other thoroughfares in our community. Make no mistake, myself, the Chief of Police, and the Lafayette Police Department command staff, and all the men and women who bravely and honorably serve each and every day will remain vigilant. We know this battle is far from over, but we believe in the power of this community and its ability to triumph. Because as you are aware, no number of police officers can stop all crimes. Many of the influences are social and must be addressed by multiple segments of the community. But be confident in the fact that we are moving in the right direction. 2017 was a remarkable year, and for me personally, it will go down as one of the most important years in my time as mayor. The city played a vital role in helping make some very important projects a reality. I believe these projects will have an impact on the lives of our citizens literally for generations and open new doors for people for decades. And that's what I love about this community, the collaboration, the partnerships, the City Council, our Board of Works, our Redevelopment Commission, working with West Lafayette and Tippecanoe County governments, Purdue, Ivy Tech, and all of our citizen-driven organizations working together to pool resources necessary to make projects happen that create hope, develop talent, and change the course of people's lives. You know, as a community, we understand that we have to be creative and we have to be innovative. We have to be strong and we have to be resourceful. But we also understand that we need to be kind and we need to be inclusive and compassionate. This community embodies that type of collaboration, not only working together, but working towards excellence and doing our part to have a community that not just survives, but thrives. We have strong, capable partners in business and industry, both large and small. We have partners in education, along with workforce development and greater Lafayette commerce. Working together, we find ways to create an economic development environment that allows businesses of all sizes, to grow and expand, and new businesses to embrace our community and realize their dreams here. We constantly find ways to help prepare and move our local workforce forward by building relationships and connections between education, business, and industry. One example of that collaboration is the wonderful partnership with the Lafayette School Corporation purchasing the old Lafayette Life building, and then them working with other school corporations to create a vocational tech high school that will open in just a few years. Educators are working closely with our business and industry to help ensure the design, the coursework, and the processes of the school create opportunity and drive the workforce of the future while meeting the needs of a thriving, growing local community. Now let's talk infrastructure for just a moment. You know, we build and actively maintain a lot of roads. We put in sidewalks, water lines, sewer lines, new stoplights, fiber optics, and Wi-Fi. We build handicap ramps. We work on riverfront development. We increase capacities and remain progressive with our infrastructure. But I think what really makes us special is that we work really hard in developing our human capital. Heart and soul goes into everything we do, from the United Way's continuum to working towards increasing mental health resources. We openly talk about the need for addiction services. We work with our faith-based groups to strengthen our neighborhoods and to provide a wonderful, stable housing for our families. We work with the development groups to ensure that our seniors have options and opportunities. And if you've looked recently, Glasswater Creek off Beck Lane looks wonderful. But I think all of you know that for me, two recent accomplishments really stand above all the rest. First, the groundbreaking of the new YMCA intersection connection on the Ivy Tech campus. I want to celebrate all the partners that have worked to make that project a reality. Franciscan Alliance, IU Health, Junior Achievement, of course the Y, and Ivy Tech. As a community, we pulled together from working through the tax credit process to the City of Lafayette committing $3 million to help make that project a reality. And I know the kids, families, and the seniors that will use the new YMCA by participating in the classes and enjoying the many opportunities will see the quality of their life undoubtedly go up thanks to the new amenities and programs. There'll also be ways for Ivy Tech students and local youth to use the Y through BizTown and other junior achievement activities. I don't think we can overestimate the impact this facility will have on our community. And then we move to the North End Community Center. Again, a marvelous example of collaboration, but not only to raise the necessary funding, which the city contributed $1.5 million, but all of the organizations that will be housed there to expand their outreach and their services. Just think of the impact the Senior Center, Hannah Center, Big Brothers and Big Sisters, Family Promise of Lafayette, Meals on Wheels, Bauer Head Start, Faith CDC, CarWorks, Reclaimed Hope, Flour Mill Bakery, and Shine On University. All will contribute. The number of lives this facility will touch is beyond measure as well. A special thank you to the Faith Community Development Corporation and the Schumann Family Foundation for helping make this project a reality. I'll conclude by saying the future of our community is not only bright, but it's a shining example of what is possible when you have a strong foundation and an unwavering commitment. We have built lasting relationships and partnerships that will propel us into the future and continue to build a community where anything and everything is possible. Thank you again to the council and to all of our citizens who make Lafayette a place we are all proud to call home. And may God continue to bless our community. Thank you. Okay, we got a little treat for you now too.
Oh, boy.
So if we could have the council come out here, we have a video that we're going to show you this year. It's one thing to listen to things on paper, but I think it's real easy sometime to get things get lost of how many positive things are taking place in the community. So we put a little video together to kind of show the council some of the things that they've helped play a role in making happen. And this is just a very small tidbit of the amazing things, not only from government, from private business, from individual citizens, from large business to small business. You probably saw our unemployment rate today is like 2.7%. It's incredibly low. So here's a very short snapshot of some incredible things that are happening in the community, I think, to keep in perspective how positive things really are.
Mayor, for your comments and for that wonderful audio-visual presentation. I think we have a couple of council appointments, and if you would take care of that, I would appreciate it.
Mr. President, council appointment for Lafayette Fire Department Merit Commission, John Hink, 3/1/18, 3/1/22, 4-year appointment.
Okay, any comments about Mr. Hink? There being none, if everybody would give a vote of affirmation for that appointment, I would appreciate it.
Aye.
Aye. Good. Next one.
Redevelopment Commission, TJ Theme, 1/1/18 to 1/1/19, 1-year appointment. Don Teeter, 1/1/18, 1/1/19, 1-year appointment.
Any comments? There being none, would the clerk, or we'll just have a vote of affirmation. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Reports of councilmen. Public comment.
Lloyd Wells, 3717 Rawlings Drive. Mr. Mayor, I am really proud of the job that you have done over the last several years for the leadership of this community. I think we couldn't do better as a mayor and the leadership that he has provided. And he's right, we live in a fantastic community. I don't agree with it all, but we live in a fantastic community.
That's part of being in a fantastic.
But I want to commend him specifically for the stand you're taking on that low-income housing on the southwest corner of town. And God help you any way it can be done.
Here we go.
Perry Barbie, 3700 Redbud Avenue. In echoes the same words, you're doing a heck of a good job, Mr. Mayor. I'm so proud to call you our mayor. We're on a different party line, but you're doing a good job, Mayor. Exactly. I'm so blessed to be part of this great community. And imagine just that video we just saw, it just happened last year. Some cities would like it just have just a little bit what we have. But there's other things I have to say, but the trash department that we have, I don't like to call it trash, as you guys know. The recycling crew, I think they do an outstanding job every week after week when the weather's bad, when it's freezing outside. They're there to pick up your stuff. I just wish more people would get involved in recycle, because I know the numbers shows that it's getting up, but you look in the trash cans, it's more trash going into those big ones. And I don't see where it's going. I think maybe we should, I know you don't like this, we should take them, find people.
That's big government.
I know. The other people that don't recycle, most of the things. The people that does, don't.
I couldn't agree with you more. People need to keep working on.
Y'all have a great day.
Thanks.
Thank you, Perry.
Hello, Rose Kazimierowski, 334 South 26th Street, Lafayette. And of course, yes, thank you, Mayor Rosarski. I'm here basically, to celebrate that, and then the forward movement that we're already seeing since, it's the beginning of February now on the 5 Points Development Project, redevelopment project. And I was not able to attend that meeting, but I'm passing along just some information from Bicycle Lafayette members about making sure that that little microcosm of development that's being focused on there actually stays connected to the other things that have already happened, like last year, the expansion of the sharrows and pedestrian-friendly infrastructure on Main Street. So seeing that 5 Points connect down the hill to Main all the way to 11th, and then also to make sure that any connectivity on 18th can be expanded and become a priority. Because the thing about the 5 Points area is that basically a food desert. There's a Dollar General up there, but there's not really any grocery stores otherwise. And if that 18th Street section can then get connected over to Greenbush, where the Payless is, it'll be just wonderful for people to have options to getting to the grocery store that are safer and more relaxing possibly than the bus. We love the bus too, but nobody really wants to carry all their groceries on the bus. So so let's keep on trucking. That's basically what I wanted to say. Congratulations.
Thank you. Any other comments? Everyone drive very carefully. There's supposed to be some snow coming down, but the streets are being maintained and taken care of. Mr. Heidi?
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yep. Opposed, same sign. Thank you very much.
Should have, I guess. I didn't know you drank.
There.
You drink Coke?